Hi, I'm Lauren, the Children's Librarian at the Kershaw County Library. Welcome to Christmas Crafts from the Kershaw County Library. I hope you stopped by the library to pick up one of the take and make bags that we put together. Everything you need for today's craft is in this bag. So, let's delve in and look at what's here. You've got directions. You have 2 pieces of felt in the shape of a Christmas tree, the yarn, or floss as it's called in the directions, a needle with a real point on it, so watch out for young children and those needles, a piece of ribbon to hang your ornament, and the stuffing for the ornament. Okay, the only thing you need to work with right now is the needle and your floss. Take your floss and separate it. In other words, you have 6 strands in a piece of floss. Separate it, in the directions I wrote, separate it into 3 sections of 2 strands each, or actually separate it into just 2 strands, 3 sections each. You just kind of stick your needle and separate out, and then you pull it apart, just like this. And if you pull it apart slowly, it comes apart very nicely. So, 1 strand will be used for making stars on the tree, and you should have enough left over in case you need more for the actual blanket stitch of the ornament. You want to look at the ornament? This is what we're making today. Okay? All we're going to learn today is this blanket stitch along the edging. And you'll notice I forgot to put on, or to put the ribbon in at the top. So technically I would have to sew it to the back of the ornament. Don't forget while we're doing this. And we'll hopefully do it better the second time. Okay, to thread a needle for young people that have never done it before, hold your needle up. You're looking for the hole in the needle called the eye. Kind of wet your pieces of floss because they'll stick together. Take the floss in your left hand and push it into the eye of the needle, just like that. Okay? This is your tail. Make a long enough tail so the thread, the floss, doesn't keep coming out of the eye. And if you haven't ever used a needle before, try to get into the habit of holding the eye with your thumb and your first 2 fingers. That way the thread always stays there. After you've threaded the needle, go to the other end and put a knot into your thread. To make a knot, wrap it around your index finger, your pointer finger. Create that circle. And then again, take the tail and keep going around the circle into the hole. Pull it through that hole and tighten it. You've got a knot. That's all you need. I like to put 2 knots in, but it's not that important. You don't necessarily have to. Okay, so I hold my needle at the eye. I'm going to take a piece of felt, just one side, and I'm going to put some stars into this front side of our Christmas tree. To do that, you are going to push your needle up from the back anywhere on the Christmas tree. Pull it all the way through. And then you're going to make a line. So push down at any point. pushing down, and I've got a line. Now, take from the back again, push up through, but set your line this time across. Hold on, I'll show you what's happening. And again, you push it down. I'm making these two lines about the same size. See? Now I'm going to make a shorter line to cross over in the middle. And you push your needle up through the back, and you go across what you've just done. Push your needle down. As you're doing this, hold your Christmas tree with all fingers on your opposite hand that's holding the needle. Sewing takes two hands. You don't ever have to actually put your Christmas tree down if you're holding it with your thumb and all fingers. I'm just then working from back to front with my needle. And now I go down. And this is what I call a star. So here's my Christmas tree, as you saw, or the front of it. What we're going to do now is learn what's called the blanket stitch. You'll find it in your directions in the back. And what we're going to do is the basic blanket stitch. From the bottom here, shows you how to do it. I'll also show you. And actually doing it on our Christmas tree is almost easier than doing it than looking at these directions. You bring your needle up from the back, it goes down at number 2, and it comes back up with the floss behind the needle at number 3. So take put your two pieces together, your stars up. To start the blanket stitch, you've already prepared your needle. In other words, don't forget your knot at the end. Take your needle and go between the two pieces at the very edge of the bottom of the Christmas tree. That's number 1. You're going to pull your floss up to the very end. Now, a little bit forward, push down push down through the 2 pieces of felt and pull it through, but you've created this circle as you're pulling through. You want to be sure that your needle goes through the circle, because you are going to, oh dear, what's happened? Why did that happen? There it goes. You're gonna, it's going to pull the thread across at the very bottom, and in other words, this going through that circle was number 3. You're not going through another layer of material. Take your needle and space it, push down through the 2, pull it through both, and make sure that you bring it through the hole, through the circle. And you get this look where it goes across the bottom, and you get these lines across the front and the best way. Whoopsie, I lost my thread. I was not holding between the eye and my fingers. You can turn it off, Sometimes you have to do some pushing, depending on which needle you got, and pull it right through that hole. And you notice how it comes along the edge. All you have to do is go straight down between the two and make sure your needle comes through the circle of thread. And as you tighten, see how it's pulling the straight piece? And you will do this all the way around the tree. I'm up close to the top of the Christmas tree, and like I said, I forgot to put my hanger in between the two, the front and the back. So I'm trying to do it on this one. Just set it in there and make sure you put your thread through the ribbon. Kind of like so. There. All right, so let me see if we can do this. If this is too much of a problem, then maybe we'll just glue it in place. I don't know. My needle is not quite as pointy as some that were in the kits, so it's a little bit harder to pull through. It's doable, but you got to do some pushing. Make sure it goes behind the thread, and now I've got one more stitch, and I think I went through. So let's see where this one's going to lead. Okay, so I've gone this far. I ran out of thread, which is no big deal. Knot your thread, make sure the tail goes inside the ornament, and I figure I'm going to stop right here and stuff it, and then just continue with the sewing, the blanket stitch. You grab a piece of stuffing and open up your hole and stuff away. Just keep pushing it in. Try to get it to the very top if you can. It'll take, I think, a couple tiny pieces of stuffing. In this case, maybe just the two. And really, that's about it. And now I am going to do my stitch again. Ta-da! The finished product. Go hang it on your tree or give it away as a gift. Thanks for watching.